Hello, my name is Jess, and I really want to connect with other women who are on a spiritual path and who are lovers of astrology, who believe in astrology and love astrology, and either has a lot of knowledge about astrology or is wanting to learn more about astrology. And I also dream of creating a women's group for us to come together on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to heal, grow, and connect through spirituality and astrology. So I want to be more intentional about that going forward on this channel, because that's my whole purpose of starting this channel, is to connect to those beautiful souls. So I thought the best video for me to put out that will be like the start to this journey of me actually starting this thing that I know I've been wanting to do, but I've been kind of like unsure of how to start, or if I'm even, I've just been scared to fail, to be honest. And because I don't know if this is the perfect time or all these things. And I've just realized that I'm just being fearful, and I'm ready to, in honor of Mars being in Aquarius now, I'm ready to face those fears finally, and just go for it. So I thought, what better way to start this new journey of me being more intentional for the things that I actually really want, and that's to do an introduction. I mean, how am I going to start a women's group, or connect with women if no one knows who exactly I am, my story? And although I love astrology, I don't want that to be like the lead. I don't want that to be the first thing that people connect with me to, if that makes sense. Like, if somebody watches this video and knows that I am an Aquarius and they're an Aquarius too, that is cool. That's cool, but also like every Aquarius and every person is different. So I don't want, as much as it'll be cool to connect with other Aquariuses and Pisces risings and Aries suns and everything else, first, most importantly, is you obviously have to know the person, and you have to obviously relate and be compatible and share the same values and interests. And obviously that's what friendship is about, right? So I am going to share my astrology chart for just, I think it's also interesting for me to, I'm going to most importantly, do an intro and talk about myself, which is very weird because I prefer to talk to others about themselves. But anyways, I'm going to introduce myself, kind of give you guys like 10 facts about me that kind of will sum up who I am, where I've come from, my story. And then I also think it'll be fun to share my astrology chart, so you guys can kind of see the connections and see like, does my astrology chart, do my astrology aspects at least connect with my story. So we already know my big three. I've already shared that. I am I am an Aquarius sun. I am an Aries moon, and I am a Pisces risings. And welcome to Pisces season. So let's hope. So the sun is shining, is beaming on my ascendant right now. And so here's to new clink clink beginnings. That's us tapping our glasses together. To the fellow Pisces risings that are watching this video. But in all seriousness, here's to new beginnings, fresh starts, and all the stuff. So anyways, here I am. Let's start. First off, I'm going to start off with sharing the 10 facts about myself. And then after that, I'm going to share my aspects in my astrology chart. And I'm going to tell you what sign I have in each planet. And then I'm going to tell you where it is also. So where in the house place, what house placement it's in as well. And we'll see if my story and my astrology placements match up. How do they align? I'm going to try to go through this really quick because in my previous video, if any of you guys watched that video never happened. Okay. That video was like a whole mess. And so I'm going to redo that. So sorry if you watched that already and you're going to hear like the first parts again, but I'm going to try to speed through this time. I wrote it down because my brain works better when I write, like when I read from a script. So when it comes to like staying on track, at least, obviously, you know. So anyways, number one, I said, I was born in Los Angeles, California. Then when I was around 10 years old, me, my mom, stepdad, and little brother drove to Atlanta, Georgia, which took us 3 whole days where we would be starting our new life. As a child, number 2, as a child, I loved fashion and dressing up. I actually also used to model, which is something that I really enjoyed. But then I decided a little later on as I grew up that it wasn't something I wanted to do long term, because at the time I felt like there was a lot of rules that came along with being a model, and it was not as inclusive as it is now. So respectfully, I felt like I don't really do rules that restrict people from being their true selves. So I kind of just was like, I just don't want to sign up for this, you know, for the rest of my life. Like, it's fun, but I want to be able to like not be told, you know, what I can eat, or, you know, not just have to feel like I'm confined to a certain body type. So I also, though, really, really, really wanted to be a fashion designer when I grew up. And so that was like one of the other passions of mine. And then I also really, really loved dancing. Oh, no, sorry. I'm skipping ahead. I said I also wanted to be a fashion designer when I grew up. I used to love drawing, creating, and coming up with new fashion designs. Yeah. It's so crazy when you look back on your childhood stuff. I don't do that anymore, which is so sad. I don't really draw much anymore. And that's something I always say that I really want to get back to. But I used to be so amazing. Like that was like one of the things that I was like known for as a child, like, you know, creating these designs. And in my head, I just knew like, oh, these designs are going to be created and they're going to be sold in stores and all the stuff like that. And then what did I say? Oh, I said, and lastly, I also really loved and enjoyed dancing. I felt and feel my freest when I'm dancing. So I guess overall, if I look at my main like loves as a child, they all have to do with me just expressing myself, like self-expression. That was a priority of mine as a child and contributed greatly to my happiness. So all of those, so just self-expression through fashion, dance, and also communication, my words, my mouth, which, you know, it's funny because as a kid, I would say I was a really good child, but when I did get in trouble, it was because of my mouth. Now I wasn't ever rude, but I was the child that was going to speak up when I felt like something wasn't right. So sometimes, though, as a kid, you know, when it comes to like seeing things in the household and certain things, you just, you know, obviously as a kid, it's and then as you get older, you become an adult, you just, just some people will keep things to themselves, but I was that child that pointed out all the things that I didn't think was right and everything like that and blah blah blah. I just wasn't taking no, like, Johnny, eat your like, like I wasn't taking. I needed a reason. I needed to like communicate. I needed, especially when I felt like something wasn't fair, right? Blah blah. Okay, anyways. So anyways, when I'm feeling down or like I'm straying away from my true self, I just try my best to remember to connect back to those key things. Fashion, creativity, dance, and why am I reading this like I don't know? It's because I don't want to veer off. Fashion / creativity, dance, and communication, and just self-expression overall. Okay. And then I said, speaking of fashion and music, if I were to describe my style, it will really just have to be, it just depends on how how I feel when I wake up. I don't really like to like define my style or put my style in a box or whatever, because I am very much like, I just wear what I like. I wear what makes me feel good. But I do have, like, I've noticed a certain style or aesthetic I like to lean towards the most. And those would include bohemian. I really love that vibe. Excuse me. I am grungy. Oh, I love grungy, goth, punk, that type of vibe. Sensual, sexy, and then streetwear with a dash of alien, which is like my way of saying a dash of like weird girl, like having to put that twist in it to feel like I stand out, and that just describes my personality. Like, I like to be different and stand out, be quirky, be unique. So yeah. And then as far as my favorite artists, I would say I genuinely really love all music, all genres. But I would have to say my go-tos, like if these people were to put out a concert like today, I will have to choose them over everybody else to go to first. And that would be, first off, Rihanna. I have always been a Rihanna fan, and I believe I love Rihanna because I feel like she's just the full package. I love her style. I love her attitude. I love that I don't give a bag gal of vibes. Like, I do what I want. And I just really resonate with that. And I just think she's beautiful. So she's like the full package for me. And then I love Doja Cat. I am a huge fan of Doja Cat because she also gives off that like I do what I want type of vibes. And I really, really appreciate artists who actually decide to like create freely, not be put in a box, who are different, who evolve over time and stuff like that. So Doja Cat is one of those. Plus I love her style as well. Even though it is like, obviously it's like, it's out there, it's different, and I just really appreciate artists who could just be themselves and not change for society or even their fans. Because that's how you be the best artist, in my opinion. You stay true to yourself. You aren't scared to try new things and evolve over time. Then my next one is Sabrina Claudio. She is like, she's my person that I like to go to when I just want an extra boost of confidence. I want to feel like a sexy woman. Love her music so much. And then I love Shakira. She's also have been a go-to that I really just love. Love her style, love her music. It also gave me kind of different because like, who do you know, like, does like belly dancing, and then she's like so international, and she mixes like Latin influence, obviously Latin, with like rock, and she's just different, And then the last person is Kendrick Lamar. So I just thought that I would put like a rapper in here, even though I don't listen, like I listen to all kinds of music, but yeah, I thought that he's also like a person that even though he is considered a rapper, he also adds different flows and vibes into his music. Plus, he talks about real stuff, and he's not just talking about the general things that a lot of rappers talk about. He actually talks about real life stuff that you can actually learn from. So I really appreciate that. And my legs now, which I knew they were gonna do this, are my legs are I'm trying to. Oh, my legs were falling asleep there. Okay, so those are some of my favorite. Okay, I feel like I have to mention this one artist. First of all, another artist I like, I guess, in a different genre, which would be more like rock, I guess, alternative, would be Paramore. I love Paramore. I've been obsessed with Hayley Williams lately. I don't know, during Capricorn season, I kind of like just got reminded of one of their songs and ended up watching her and listening to her interviews. And I just love her as an artist and as a person as well. Also, I feel like, once again, I guess I just really appreciate artists who don't, even though they are like, they may have a specific genre, they do it differently, you know? So anyways, next, moving on. So another thing, fact number 4 about me is I used to think that I was an introvert, which I feel like I still am for the most part, but I honestly feel like I would probably resonate more with with being an ambivert, if that's how you pronounce it, which is when you're both. I could like turn it on, turn it off type of thing. But I say that because I do really love my alone time and definitely need to recharge if I'm around a lot of people. But when I'm in the mood for socializing, I enjoy talking. I actually really enjoy talking to other people and being in group settings. Although I still prefer one-to-one. I think I'm not really the best at getting to know people if I'm in a group setting, but if I'm like doing like a one-to-one talking with I feel like that's when I can really connect with people the most, like on a deeper level. You know, like intimate, like actually finding a friend. Like groups, obviously you can't really like talk with everybody and go into depth if you're doing a group setting, you know, talking to people in a group. I also said I also used to be shy as a kid, but I overcame that by forcing myself to join a club, a group, forcing myself into group settings, which is something I still do till this day. So yeah, whenever I want to be social, whenever I want to not be like an introvert and be home all the time, which I am very much a homebody, that really, I'm a homebody who wishes they were more of outgoing or person that actually went out and did, you know, but I'm a creature of comfort sometimes. And I feel like I can get into stages where I'm just home all the time, or I'm being out there more, if that makes sense. But I think I also have in the past, and something that I'm working through is anxieties and just a bunch of other things. Plus, you know, ever since I started working from home, that has changed my life a lot too. When I used to work, which you guys will know more about that, my old jobs, I used to be out there more and more social, but ever since I started working from home, it's been like, this has been like the glue that's been hard for me to like rip myself out of. So number 5. So some of my strengths and weaknesses will include, my strengths is I feel like I am a creative, passionate, dedicated, innovative, I'm empathic, I'm a good problem solver, and I'm a leader, I'm a fast learner, and I'm a good communicator. I don't know. I guess that would be a good strength. I was trying to think, does that count as a strength? And then my weaknesses, I am a procrastinator. I can be disorganized. I'm kind of a little ashamed to say this, but I also can be and have been a lot of times in my life late. It is not my proudest quality of mine, but it's something that I am aware of. Okay, the first step is being aware and admitting And it's something that I have, you know, still till this day, trying my best to be better at. Just time management as a whole. I'm also a perfectionist, which I put this in the weakness area because honestly, I've learned over time. I used to be proud of that. Like, I'm a perfectionist. I just want to make this perfect. That's why it's taking me so long. And I've realized that, first of all, perfection doesn't exist. So when you're trying to, okay, I had to reset my video. But yeah, when you're trying to aim for something that's kind of like impossible, it often delays you from actually achieving the goal or achieving the thing that you're trying to do, which is just kind of like wasting time. You're just trying to aim for something that's kind of impossible. But when you think about when you peel the layers back and you realize why I'm such a perfectionist, a lot of it stems from fear. Your fear of failure, your fear of something not being good enough. Then you also kind of miss out on opportunities because while you're spending so much time working on something because you want it to be so perfect, there's people who are just putting stuff out there and being confident in their stuff and end up just producing more and just getting to their goals and accomplishing their stuff faster than you are because you're taking too long because you are afraid to just, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it hinders you being a perfectionist, to be honest. And then also it's like unauthentic because, like, once again, perfectionist does not exist, or perfection doesn't exist. And people find beauty in also being perfect is not relatable because, once again, it doesn't exist. So you're trying to achieve something that no one can really relate to in a sense, and therefore it's not really authentic and probably won't touch people as much as you just putting your stuff out there, being proud of it, or whatever you're doing, project or whatever. So, and then I'm also an overthinker. That's just kind of self-explanatory. Overthinker also ties to being anxious, and it just can hold me back a lot because I'm overthinking things and, second guessing myself, having doubts, all that. Also, I say this could be this one, there was another one that I said that it could be viewed as a strength and a weakness. And I said, I'm also competitive. And, obviously that can do really good for me when it comes to me having the drive to get stuff done and, push myself to be the best, but it could also get dangerous and it can make me kind of compare myself to other people's progress and just other things like that and all that stuff. So number 6, what do I do for work? Okay, so I'm gonna, first off, I kind of got to give you guys the history before I actually tell you. So first off, I used to be a couple years ago, I used to be a babysitter, which was honestly it was a great job because it, first of all, paid me well, but I also learned a lot. But I also used to dog sit for a family, which was really cute. Then I was a social media influencer. Well, honestly, I was a social media influencer first, and then I also started to be a babysit more. I guess they kind of happened around the same time. But then I was a social media influencer for 7 to 8 years. I had amassed or gained over 100,000 followers and accumulated a total of, I don't really know how much. I will have to go to my channel and double check. But let's just say over millions of views. I don't know how much, but a lot. Okay. a good millions of views. I was working with brands. I made money through my videos, through the ads. So yeah, that's kind of my secret that I haven't really shared on this channel. And I was debating if I really wanted to. Also, I was going to share my channel because obviously some people obviously I'm not lying. I mean, and one day I'll probably share it. Some people may think girl, you're lying, especially looking at my channel right now and seeing that I have 8 beautiful followers, supporters. But yeah, it's the truth. One day I'll share my channel. I think I don't know if I'm ready to share my channel right now because honestly, I don't want the people on my channel. Like I kind of left my channel without giving them a head. Well, no, I've been for a long time because I transitioned and all this stuff like that. How do I describe it? I kind of just left that channel without saying like goodbye, I'm leaving. So because I wanted to just try something new and just kind of like restart, and just I kind of wanted a new life. I just wanted a fresh start, and I wanted not to bring my past to my new life, if that makes sense. So I kind of just left and decided, you know what, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm tired of trying to appeal to an audience that no longer like I resonate with. And I love, not any like disrespect to like my followers, but I guess I think I'm gonna share that story in here. I'm gonna kind of explain the basis from it, but let's just say, long story short, I had a spiritual awakening. Well, I guess I'll read. Okay, first of all, let's just continue reading. But anyways, the point is, I was gonna share the channel to kind of give people proof, like I'm not lying, just for those people who are like, girl, for real. But then I realized like I'm just not ready to share that channel because it's an old part of myself that I kind of just honestly wish I mean, I'm grateful for it, but I kind of just want to focus on moving forward for right now. But one day I'll share the channel. And then there's some people that probably will find me, if they haven't already, from my past channel, you know, on here. So I don't know. Or some people who may recognize me from being, you know, known for being on another channel. So it's fine. But also fine if you don't, because I was in a very niche channel. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I said then I had an identity crisis, and I got a job at a metaphysics, and then so I had an identity crisis, so which caused me to stop really posting as much on that channel, because pretty much, long story short, I used to do natural hair. That used to be the basis of the channel, me doing natural hairstyles, showing like how to do cute styles on natural hair, on like naturally curly hair, because I felt like there was only, you know, back then, years ago, when you would look up a cute hairstyle, you would only see it shown on a person with straight hair. So then I was like, oh, you know, I want to really like show like how to still make your like have cute hairstyles and express your creativity through your hair, even if you have like curly hair. So I did that, and when there wasn't really people like doing curly hairstyles and everything like that. And I would say, you know, I made a huge impact on the naturally curly hair community, especially when it comes to like being creative and wearing cute hairstyles and just stuff like that. I just got in. It was a good timing because like that wasn't really like often. I mean, that wasn't really what do you call it? That wasn't really a thing back then. You didn't really see, once again, whenever you look up cute hairstyles, you'd only see it on people with straight hair. So it was just like it was just a good timing on my part and everything. So, but then I grew out of that. You know, I've always known I wanted something, you know, deeper than just surface level. Like I loved beauty, but I always knew that eventually I would probably want to do more than that. But we'll get to that a little later. So then I kind of stopped posting or took a break. I ended up getting a job at a metaphysical store, which is like a crystal store, a spiritual store, which I didn't know at the time, but it was going to change my life and connect me to my purpose in life and my true community. So, but then a year later, I ended up quitting that job because I, for multiple reasons, but mainly because I was underpaid. And then I realized that I prefer to just be my own boss. I should have known this, me being the free spirited person that I am. I don't really like being told what to do. I like to have my own rules, and I'm just I feel like I'm just better at being an entrepreneur, being my own boss, working for my own self, having my own schedule. So I left. So then that happened. Fast forward a little after that, I ended up leaving my YouTube channel towards the end of last year. It's been a thing that I've been thinking about for like probably 2 years, not leaving, but I've tried to make my like transition on my channel through like from the hair girl to the more spiritual girl and, you know, all the stuff like that, and astrology girl. But I feel like, you know, once you gain an audience for a specific thing, especially when it's a big audience like that, and you've already been doing that for years, it's going to be hard to kind of just like completely change the direction of your channel, especially when it's something that's more, let's say, controversial. Unfortunately, which I didn't even know at the time was something controversial. I didn't even know spirituality or astrology was controversial. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is changing my life. Let me share this with the world. But then I kind of not got attacked, but I got some, you know, a good amount of pushback and people saying that's dangerous. And, you know, the let's just say, I was going to say religious people, but it was really, to be honest, a lot of Christian people, or people who had Christian beliefs, you know, was like saying how that's demonic and just the typical things you guys know what I'm saying. If you've been on a spiritual journey, you know what I'm saying. Or if you're watching this video and you probably have, I don't judge people for their beliefs. I'm just sharing the story, how it went. So anyways, there was a lot of like, I tried to stay and I tried to make something work, but it just wasn't working. And that was my Pluto in Capricorn story. Pluto, the sign of transformation, literally transformed my 11th house, which is what Capricorn rules, my 11th house. And that was a major lesson that I've learned, or a major event that happened, a major Pluto event. And that's destroying the structures that I built and the community that I built and the network that I built in my personal life and online. So yeah, I lost all my friends, as in like I let go of a lot of people. I had to, because I had no longer resonated, you know, with them and kind of, you know, changed. So that's what happened. So then I ended up what did I say? Oh yeah, so I said I left my YouTube channel and my job to start over and create a community and a business around that has to do with spirituality and astrology, which is what you see now, daily astrology and spirituality. So I guess it brings us to the actual answer to this question, and I guess I would say that I'm unemployed right now, which is really scary. Not gonna lie. I mean, so much uncertainty. Some people think that I'm crazy for doing this, because I am currently living off of my savings. Yeah, I understand how crazy that may seem, but when I tell you how many times I've connected, you know, to my intuition, and I've talked to God and just everything like that, I just feel like I feel and know in my body, in my soul, in my connection to my journey, that this is something that I really needed to do. And I believe that if you are aligned to your purpose in life and you do the things that you know that are aligned to your purpose in life, you will be good. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Am I going to run out of money and literally be struggling? No. I mean, I definitely won't wait until I ran out of money, you know, but will I have to get a job and, you know, for the time being and still do this? Or will I be able to, you know, help? Will I be able to do what I want to do, which is obviously connect with people who are on a spirit, my people, connect with my people, let's just say that, build this beautiful community and be able to, obviously, most importantly, share my journey, my knowledge, you know, all of everything with for free. But ultimately, like, obviously, you know, I want to not be able to work for somebody again, so also trying to figure out how I can provide for myself, how I could, you know, turn my gifts into something that can allow me to pay for the life that I want, or provide or fund the life that I want to live. So it's just kind of trying to figure out that balance. And I kind of think I feel like I know how I want to do that. And that's going to be the journey of this channel. You guys kind of see me go through that journey, formulating the plan, trying to figure it all out. So yeah. Let's see. So I said my goal this year is to create a virtual and in-person women's group, global, hopefully women's group for healing, growing, and connecting through spirituality and astrology. All right, let me take a sip of my tea because I am getting a little thirsty. This is green tea with a squeeze of lemon and honey. That's the only way I like to drink my teas. I always have to have a lemon in it. And I actually really like a lot of honey too. Like a lot of honey. Okay, number 7. I developed a nut allergy when I was in high school. I also decided that I also discovered while I was in high school that I was gluten intolerant, which means that I had a sensitivity to gluten. If you don't know what gluten is, just look it up. I'm not even going to try to explain it because I'm terrible at explaining things, but it's in a lot of foods. And it helps to like keep the food from. It helps to keep the food. Oh, how do you describe it? Like, see, I'm sucking at this. It helps. It's like a preservative in a sense. It holds stuff together and keeps it from like going bad quickly, I believe. Now, once again, I may not be good at it, so look it up if you want. But I just developed a sensitivity to it. First off, I realized that I was like having stomach aches every time I would eat a lot of stuff with bread in it, which you will find gluten is in a lot of, like the most gluten you'll find is in breads, bready things. So whenever I would eat a lot of bready foods, excuse me. Oh my gosh, why am I so burpy? I scarfed down a salad a little before I did this video. So maybe that's why I'm so burpy. But I developed it because I started to realize I would get a stomach ache. I would get super tired, like not like abnormally tired and like very cloudy brain and just like not right. Whenever I would eat stuff that had a lot of bread in it or like fried foods. And then I went to the doctor and then I discovered I was gluten intolerant. So I had to cut that out of my diet. Also, how I discovered I had my nut allergy. I was in school and I was eating and I ate for the first time ever one of those Ferrero Rocher things that had like hazelnut. Yeah, I ate that. I felt like my face was itchy. My back was itchy. I ended up I had a purse in my backpack, looked at my face because I was figuring like why my face feels really itchy or weird. Had a lot of hives on me. Literally, it was crazy. But I ended up, long story short, I somehow made it home, then took off all my clothes, realized my body was covered in hives. And I, had to go to the hospital and realized that I had a nut allergy. And that changed my life. That just changed my life. Then I decided when I got older to make my life even more complicated. And it was all thanks to a freaking video that I watched called What the Health, where they pretty much talked about all the bad things about like eating animal products and blah, blah, blah. So yes, I did the thing and I decided to become vegan, or I don't really like saying vegan, but like eat plant-based. So cut all animal products out of my life. Am I crazy? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. Because it honestly was a life changer. But like, yeah, the fact that I already had so many dietary restrictions is what I would call it. And then decided to just make it a little bit more complicated. It's all good, you know. Once you go through an allergy and you cut out gluten, cutting out things in your life as far as like food is like really not that big of a deal for me. Plus, I prioritize my health a lot, so you know, sacrifices. So what did I say? So I am gluten-free, nut-free, and plant-based. And I also I also prefer to eat cooked meals. I don't like eating out for multiple reasons, mainly because it's complicated, you know, when I have so many dietary restrictions, and to be honest, like nobody really cared. Like there are people in restaurants who are aware of allergies and stuff, but no one really cares about your food more than you know? And it's like, I just always fear an accident happening, or, you know, accidentally consuming something that I shouldn't, and blah, 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 blah. So I learned that, you know, why didn't I just learn to cook my own foods? First of all, for my anxiety, but second of all, I realized like that it's even better for my health because I know what's going into my food. And obviously learning to cook was obviously a good skill to have as well. But yeah, I just kind of prefer to do that. So I also have to admit, if we're going to be friends, you have to know that I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be the friend that you can go out to eat with. I will be everything else. Okay. You want to do something fun. You want to go do something adventurous. You want to dress up cute and go to have a cute picnic, or go take a walk in nature, or go to an art museum, or whatever. You want to like take a class together. Oh, I am down. Okay. But if you want to go out to eat, maybe call up another friend. Okay. Yeah, because I'm not a type of, like, I'm not a big foodie unless, I just prefer to eat. That's just something that it's like sacred to my heart, and only because of like my allergies and just stuff like that. So like, we can eat together if you're okay with me eating my own food that I've made for myself. But other than that, yeah, that's the only weird thing about me. That, you know, it's just, yeah, I had to put that out there. We all have our quirks. That one is mine. All right. So number 8, I said, okay, so speaking of being unemployed, I have always been into self-improvement, self-discovery, self-love, self-growth, self-care. And I realized I forgot to mention this when I was writing all of my, you know, things about myself, was that I actually did go to college. Although I didn't finish because my YouTube channel ended up taking off. I started my channel when I was in high school. I started my channel when I was in college because, first off, I went to college. Well, am I going to say this in the thing? Okay, let me finish reading this before I say something that I already wrote. I said, I did go to college, although I didn't finish because my YouTube channel ended up taking off, and I was more passionate in that at the time. But when I was in college, I started off as a fashion design major. Then I realized I only liked it as a hobby, but I really, really enjoyed learning about the human mind and helping people and mental health and all that. So I decided, and couples therapy, like couples, that type of thing. So I decided to change my major to psychology. Then I started working at the metaphysical/spiritual store, and I rediscovered my love for astrology, which I've always really loved. Especially when I was a teenager, I got connected to astrology when I was a teenager. But I only knew about sun signs, which is like how most of us obviously start off with loving astrology. But then I came across a video from a content creator, I guess you would call them, by the name of Soul Navigations. And she was the first ever astrologer I had ever even seen. But she ended up teaching me about an astrology chart. And when I freaking tell you guys, my mind was blown. So all of 2022, which is when this happened, was spent with me learning more about astrology and spirituality. Then 2023, last year, was all about me slowly starting to learn how to apply it to my life. And I kind of did it starting off to kind of really see for myself, like, is this stuff even real? Because obviously let's just say I'm a more logical person naturally. So I definitely am the type of person to question everything that I am told. So obviously I don't fall into like conspiracy theories and all this. Like, I'm like, where's the facts? If you can't show me that it's real, you can't prove to me, then I don't want to hear he say, she say, all this stuff like that. Like, save that for somebody who is like, whatever. But yeah, so obviously with somebody who's more logical, you telling me anything about spirituality, I'm a side eye you. And then astrology, once again, I didn't know, because all my life I thought I've only known about sun astrology. So when people tell you there's more to your chart, you're actually composed of all the astrology signs. Like, girl, you tripping? Like, you know, like I didn't know. So I was like, all right, let's see if this actually works. Let me apply it to my real life. And, you know, that's the only way you can obviously see it. You can see it, especially when it comes to faith, spirituality, and then obviously you can do it with astrology too. So once I was shown, though, that through multiple experiences, that it was very real. And I say that because it's like, yeah, it is. I'm just, in my experience, let's just say that I can add that in. In my experience, I was shown that spirituality and astrology is, in fact, a real thing in my experience. But yeah, when I realized that, I was like, I need to share this with the world. So that is one of the things that obviously led me to like just taking that leap of faith, and leaving behind my job or like my channel, my old channel, really, which is like was hard because I was getting paid on there still, regardless if I made a video that didn't get that many views. Like, say I did make a video about spirituality and astrology, and it got less views than it would with my hair channel, I would still be getting paid on that. But I just didn't like it because I felt like majority of the people that was still watching, because I lost a lot of subscribers, I lost a lot of views, but the majority of the people that was still watching, I felt like they were just watching because they were hoping that I would go back to my other like to talk about hair, or they were just watching. There's just people who was like watching just to hate on, like to like not hate on me, I would say, but like to pretty much tell me like you shouldn't be doing this. It just didn't feel authentic, you know? It felt like I was just trying to force something down somebody's throat per se, that wasn't my intention, but it was just like, why keep talking about something when you know people are clearly not into it and they just want you to do your other stuff? So I just felt like, you know, I could have just continued doing it on that channel, and over time, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it aligned anymore, and something just was telling me that I have to restart. And so once again, had to redo my camera. But yeah, something just told me I wasn't going to find my community by staying on that channel. I had to let it go. So I risked starting over and knowing that I would have to start a new channel, knowing that I wasn't going to be getting paid anymore, through YouTube, which at the time worked out because I told you that I had quit my metaphysical job, my spiritual store job. So, by the way, I used to work as a social media marketer. So I was helping grow. This is probably a good detail. But when I was working there, I was the social media marketer for that store. So my job was to sell the products, market and advertise the products through social media content. So I would create videos and post, and I also actually did some stuff, created pictures, took pictures of the products and like put that on the online site. So this is another interesting thing. When I started my YouTube channel, I did it because I was just very into the creative aspect of it. But as I grew it, a lot of people would tell me like, oh my gosh, you have all these followers. Like you should be selling stuff. Like, why aren't you selling stuff? And I just felt like I just didn't. First of all, I don't know. I was too much of a creative to go into the business side. Plus, I didn't really know what I wanted to sell. And I was never that person that was like hungry for money. Honestly, I feel like a lot of my life, I kind of was like, how I viewed about money, how my views about money was like, I didn't care about it. I didn't care much about it. I didn't really, and I felt like even though you don't have an attachment to money, you still have to realize the importance of how much power that having money holds as far as like giving you freedom. Having money provides you freedom. So, I realized like me having a like, I don't care about money attitude was not really the most helpful for me. So I had to learn my lesson through that too. But so yeah, I didn't really do anything like serious business moves with the audience that I have, created, because I just didn't feel aligned, to it. But then when I started to, when I worked for the spiritual store, I learned so much about business. And then I learned like they will have classes there. They will have like women's circles and meditation classes and sound healings. And then they also offer services there. That's when I learned about energy healing. That's when I learned about spiritual practitioners or intuitive practitioners, you would say, who were gifted, and they use their gifts to heal people through energy healing, chakra balancing, past life regression. Oh, when I tell you I'm a full-on spiritual girly, I am in it. Okay. I'm not just a crystals or cute. And no, like I know the real healing. Like I've worked with, I was really close with one of the intuitive practitioners there who literally changed my life, she changed my life. She was with me through everything, the hardest part of, meeting my grandma passing last year. So I learned a lot. When I tell you that job changed my life, that changed my life. And like, that is the epitome of like, that's how I know things happen in life for a reason. We may not know why at the moment, because I felt very like when I had to get a job, I felt so, not that like, once again, the job is like great, but I feel like I've always been a person that like found a way to work for myself, I guess you would say. Obviously, when I was a teenager, I used to work at clothing stores and stuff like that. But even when I was a babysitter, it was like me kind of working for myself, because I set my own schedules, I set my own rates, and all this stuff like that. And then when I got my YouTube channel, that was like me doing my own thing, blah, blah, blah. My own schedule. So it was kind of like a new thing for me to like work under somebody and be like, and have to ask them for days off and stuff like that. And I know that's probably a privileged thing of mine, but that was just something I always prioritized when I was young. And I put myself in situations like, once again, babysitting, like, or just certain things like doing service work. It's like when you still, yeah, you're kind of technically working, like getting paid by somebody else, but you are creating so I liked a lot of freedom in my jobs. Let's just say that. So I don't even know where I was going with this rant. Don't know where I was going. Lost it. Okay. That means I need to move on. Ranting too much. So yeah, so now we're here. Number 9. So what do I like to do in my free time for fun? And I thought this was a very good thing to say, because if we're going to be friends, we have to enjoy similar things, So the purpose of me sharing all these things, remember, is to see, like, it's like if we're sitting down and we're talking to each other and we're having like a date to get to know each other and see, like, are you compatible with me? Like, do we like the same things? Blah, 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 blah. So it's like we're on a Bumble BFF dating site, okay? Which I have tried one of those as well. So that's a whole another story. That was in the past though, okay. And it actually did work. But once again, that's another story for another time. Okay, so what do I like to do in my free time for fun? Like with friends or whatever. I said one of my favorite things to do is like dress up, dress cute, and go like sightseeing, go explore scenic, artsy, or like places that have good music. I just love that. Being in nature. And then anything that has to do with self-care. Love that. So I guess I said to sum it up, I said I would love anywhere with scenic views, art, good music, good vibes, or anything that has to do with self-care, self-improvement, being in nature, anything wellness, beauty, spiritual. Obviously, I am down. Anything also that has to do with classes, like trying something new, like going to an art class, going to a yoga class, meditation class, sound healing, anything like that, you know? A fitness class, even a Zumba class, like, or whatever, like any type of classes. And then I also added in, which I don't know why I keep saying this. I said parks, trails, art museums, dance classes, yogas, picnics, nature, new things, and exploring. So anything that has to do with any of those things. And then number 10, I said I met the love of my life, my current partner, in high school, in 11th grade to be specific. And we've been together for now 11 years because our anniversary passed, which was on Valentine's Day. I'm trying to read what I said. I was like rushing, so it kind of looks like chicken scratch. I said we've been together through everything. And I love him more than words can express. But the past 2 to 3 years have been pretty tough for us due to just personal life events that has brought challenge to our relationship. But we've been able to overcome and grow through it all. But this year just seems different. This year seems like a make or break for us. I said, well, I wrote this on February 9th, but I said it's February 9th, and we've already had multiple disagreements and multiple serious talks. And I think, when I think about it, I think what has changed is me. It's true that the more you heal, the more healed you become, the faster you start to outgrow the people in your life who are not putting in the same effort to heal themselves consistently. I was told by an intuitive practitioner, the one that I met, the literal angel of my life. I literally feel like she was sent here by an angel. She was sent here by an angel. She was sent here by God in my life at the time that I needed her the most. And I feel really sad, really, really sad, because we fell out of touch. And that's something that really kind of crushes me a little bit, because I just feel like she was the epitome of what I would view as a friend, like a lifelong friend. She was everything that I would look for in a friend. Honestly, if she was a guy, literally I would like marry her in a heartbeat because like she was the epitome. Like, I mean, she just was amazing. And like, anyways, but yeah, she told me that can happen, in the beginning of my journey. And she was just telling me I will have a bunch of questions about like spirituality, and she was born a healer, but she also went to school for a lot of things as well. So she was born gifted, she wasn't born intuitive with intuitive gifts and ability, but she also went to school. So she had her doctor's degree. So she was like double on top of it. Like she was just all around. Like she was a healer, she was intuitive, but she knew how to do it and do it in a profession. Like this lady was a Capricorn rising. Okay. So that should tell you it all. Like she just loved educating herself and learning and stuff like that. So anyways, not to talk too much about her before I start crying. Hold on. But yeah, she did warn me about that. And she did tell me that could happen with people in your life, whether it's your romantic partner, your family, your friends. And for so long, that has been a huge fear of mine, especially when it comes to my relationship. But then I started working on my self and healing my fears and need for control, because I really, really have been an anxious person a lot of my life, and realized it's because I had a fear of letting go, and I felt like I needed to control the situation to feel safe. And just recently I kind of finally decided to let go. I never thought I would say those words. But here's to this is what happens when you age gracefully, I guess, this is what growing up does for you, or causes. This is what growing up looks like, I guess. I decided to let go and let God. And I've already, which means let go of the things that I can't control in my life. Okay, I have to sit down again in a different way. Plus, I'm going to have to pee. Okay, I need to hurry up and let's finish this. But yeah, I've decided to let go of control and let God, as in let God have all the control, of things that I can't control. And that's unfortunately the people that stays in my life. I can't control other people and their journeys and blah, 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 and I can only control my healing, myself. And that's something that I, haven't done. I would put myself last a lot in my life and be there for people and try to help people. And I just finally, this Pisces and Saturn's, man, Saturn has really been putting in work in my Pisces, on my Pisces risings, my Pisces Saturn, and my other Pisces, which we'll get into later. So, and then I said, and I've already been experiencing multiple things that has tested my faith, and tested my, thing of letting go. And we are just on the second month of the year. So I genuinely don't really know what the end of 2024 is going to look like for me. And who or who won't be in my life. But for the first time ever in my life, I'm okay with that. This is my year. I've given so much of myself to others. And this is the year I finally put myself and my energy first and surround myself with like-minded people and finally connect to my community, which brings me to the last thing before we get into my astrology chart. Finally, let me make sure I didn't write anything else. Yeah. Okay. And that is my purpose / intention for this channel, which I actually kind of feel like I said in the beginning of this video, but let's just reconfirm, just so we're both on the same page. And plus this will help me because I need to remember this every time I put out a video, so I can ask myself, is this video aligning to my purpose for this channel, you know? And also, yeah, exactly. There you go. Let's keep it at that. So number 1, my first purpose, I have 3 intentions for this channel. My first intention is to connect and to make friends. I want to connect with like-minded souls and make genuine, hopefully lifelong friends, and kind of build a sisterhood. Number 2, I want to help others through my knowledge and experiences of how to live a happy life, a happy, purposeful life. And also like living the life of your dreams, because we all can do that if we live intentionally. And I just believe like living your dream life, it looks like you just being happy. So yeah, let's keep it at that. Living a happy and purposeful and abundant life. And then number 3, I want to, being authentic, is make money doing what I love. So I don't ever have to work for anyone again. And I also would love to show you guys through my journey of showing what that looks like for other girls out there who feel the same way for me and don't want to work for anybody else again. I would love to like show you guys my process and my journey of what that looks like, how I'm going to do that, how I'm going to take the steps, what am I going to do for that, how to get there. And that's going to be through me, you know, creating a global, virtual, and an in-person women's group, which I will probably most likely be offering on a Patreon or a, extra site, which you'll come and probably like, I'm already thinking about it. I'm going to create a Patreon. I think it's going to be like $5 a month. And we're going to show up every week or every 2 weeks, and we're going to heal together, and we're going to, do new moon, full moon rituals. We're going to talk about astrology. I'm going to help. I want to be that go-to astrology friend that can tell you like, okay, this week you're going to need to focus on this and blah, blah, blah. Then we're going to come back and see if it played out for you. And and then every month, I just have so many ideas. The point is I want to be able to collab and connect and hear you guys' stories, because I feel like you learn the best through other people. So it's like I want to be able to connect with other spiritual girlies and other healers and other astrology lovers and everything like that, and just like be able to help us through our knowledge that we've gained through life, and maybe hopefully like collab with other people in the spiritual and astrology community. Like I have so many ideas and I'm so excited. So yeah, that is my intention. And ultimately, obviously, just want to make enough, I want to be able to sustain, make enough to afford the life of my dreams. I don't need to be rich. I mean, I won't mind being rich, but honestly, I just want to be enough. Like that's like, once again, money doesn't matter to me, but I mean, money does. Okay. Money matters to me, but obviously I'm not like my drive isn't money. I just want to have the freedom to do the things that I love, and with that, unfortunately, money comes with that. So, that is my kind of story, of who I am. Now we're going to get to my astrology chart. And I feel kind of embarrassed because like, why do I need to pull it out? I shouldn't need to pull it out, but I feel like I'm just want to not get things wrong. So 1 second, I'm going to pull it up on my computer. And first, also, I'm going to pee really quick because I have to pee. So 1 second. All right. So for the fun part, I'm going to tell you guys what I have in my astrology chart. Obviously, I'm not going to share my whole astrology chart because I do want to keep some sense of privacy. So I don't think I will ever expose my full astrology chart. Maybe one day, I don't know. But I'm just going to tell you guys about like what signs I have in each planet and what house it's in. Which I'll probably share some of this in the beginning of the video or on my thumbnail, so you probably already know. But quickly, okay, so I am a Pisces rising. I am a sun in Aquarius in the 12th house. I should say my, right? Okay, so my sun in Aquarius is in the 12th house. Also, quickly, I am using whole sign astrology, the whole sign house system for this. I have recently, I grew up. I started off learning about modern astrology, and then I discovered the astrology podcast. And they kind of not converted me, but I really started then really looking at a traditional astrology. And now I like to combine both. So I like to use modern and traditional. I also really love like looking at that 12th. I realized I resonated more with the whole sign housing system. And I learned that through comparing, like looking at my whole sign house astrology compared to modern astrology, to like the Placidus house system. And I've just realized like, and I think everybody should do that. You know, it's not that hard. And you could, well, anyways, if you want to know more, then maybe let me know in the comments and, I'll elaborate on that. But I just pretty much like put my birth chart in information. And then I looked at what the whole sign houses said. And then I looked at the Placidus, and I realized that what resonated with me the most is whole sign astrology. And nothing was too different, to be honest. There was just kind of like maybe like one or two aspects that made it change. But then that's when I was like, which one resonates? Which one sounds like me the most? And, so anyways, so I'm just had to preference that by saying I do use whole sign. I like to use both, but for right now, today, I'm looking at the whole sign housing system. So I am a Pisces rising. My sun is in Aquarius, and it's in the 12th house. My moon is in Aries, it's in the 2nd house. My Mercury is in Capricorn in the 12th house. In the 11th house. Mercury is in Capricorn in the 11th house. I also was born on a Mercury retrograde. So my Mercury is in I was born on a Mercury in Capricorn in the 11th house, also in retrograde. My Venus is in Pisces in the 1st house. My Mars is in Aquarius. Yep. In the 12th house. My Jupiter is in Capricorn in the 11th house. My Saturn in Pisces is in the 1st house. My Uranus is in Aquarius in the 12th house. My Neptune is in Capricorn in the 11th house. And my Pluto in Sagittarius is in the 10th house. My midheaven is in Sagittarius in the 10th house. I don't know. Anybody that uses any of these, I'll just say it, but I don't really know much. Oh, what am I talking about? This is the IC. The IC is in Gemini in the 4th house. My descendant obviously is in Virgo in the 7th house. My North Node is in Libra in the 8th house. My South Node in Aries is in the 2nd house. And finally, my Chiron is in Libra in the 8th house. I know. Some people, any astrology, like obsessive people like me, even if you even know more about astrology than I do, you're probably like, oh my God. Like you're probably already making the connections. Oh my gosh. See, this is why I would love for us to, like, I want to talk about it all. but each other's too, you know. And also, how exciting would it be? Let me know if you share any of the same things that I do in the comments down below. We'll love that. So yeah, that is my astrology. I'm not going to elaborate because we'll be here for another 2, 3, probably all day if I were to break down everything. But I kind of just wanted to leave that there for you guys to kind of see for yourself if you notice any connections from my story, you know, from getting to actually know me outside of my astrology, and then learning about what my astrology is. Do you see the connections? Because they're so there. It so makes sense. And astrology is fucking amazing and cool, and like I'm just so happy we have it. So yeah, finally, before I close out this video, I want you guys to know that I prioritize communicating and talking with you guys. Okay. That is the purpose of obviously me showing up consistently and, you know, sharing everything and sharing my journey and all that stuff like that. It's going to be obviously important. But there is no connection, there is no community without you. So if you are still watching this video, I would assume that you resonated with some or a lot of what you saw in this video. If you are currently following me or subscribed to me right now, and even by watching the end of this video, you still feel like you made a good decision to do that, then I would just encourage, no pressure, because I know everyone, I don't know, like no pressure, but I would encourage you guys to share your journeys, you know, introduce yourself in the comments down below. What's your name? Where are you from? And maybe tell me a fun fact about yourself. It just has to be one. It doesn't have to be, you know, a lot. I don't want you guys to tell me your astrology sign, because I do want to do something fun at some point, and I want to guess everyone's astrology sign. I want to guess certain people's astrology signs, or at least big threes. Well, actually, I don't know if I'll be able to do that, because like I don't know you guys on a personal level, so it'll be hard to kind of guess your moon sign. But I definitely want to try to guess like your maybe like your sign or whatever at some point. So, but yeah, just do that. Plus, I don't want to like. I know. Well, I guess you could tell me if you're. I guess you could tell me. I would try to guess your sun sign. Let's just say that. But I won't. I guess you could tell me your rising sign, because I would be curious to know if anybody else is a Pisces rising in here. And even if you're not, that's totally fine. I'm sure if you're watching this video and you resonate with it, I mean, you either share like compatible things in my chart. That's usually how it goes. Anybody that you actually resonate with and you like, you usually share similar stuff in your chart with. So yeah, how about we do this? Tell me your name, where you're from. Tell me one fact about yourself, and then tell me what your rising sign is. Would love to know. And that will be your, like, if you do that, that will be your way of telling me like, hey, like, I think we're compatible. Maybe we could be friends. Okay. Like, go girl, keep doing what you're doing. I love that. I support that. And yeah, like all that. So yeah, thank you for watching. And I hope I'll be excited to read any comments, and I will see you in my next video.